if your hands tingle at night, if standing up makes the room spin, or if you forget words halfway through a sentence, what I am about to tell you could change everything. This is not about aging. This is not about something you just have to accept. This is about something your doctor may have missed, even though you have been doing everything right. This is about a mistake that is so common, so overlooked and so damaging that it is stealing the health and independence of millions of people over 55. You take your vitamin B12 every single day. You trust the bottle. You trust the routine. You never miss a dose. Your blood test comes back normal and the doctor says you're fine. But deep inside, you know something is wrong. Your energy is not what it used to be. Your legs feel weak when you climb stairs. Your balance is off when you walk across a room. And no one seems to have an answer that makes sense. What if the problem is not that you need more B12? What if the problem is that your body cannot use what you are giving it? What if the form you are taking is passing straight through without ever reaching your nerves, your brain, or your cells? This is the truth that no one talks about, and it is costing thousands of older adults their independence, their confidence, and their quality of life. Let me take you inside a real moment that happens in clinics across the country almost every single week. A man walks in. He is 68 years old. He has been taking vitamin B12 faithfully for 7 years. 7 years without missing a single dose. His blood work shows his B12 level is within the normal range. The doctor looks at the numbers and says everything looks fine, yet this man is exhausted. His feet feel numb. He stumbles when he walks. His memory is slipping. He cannot understand why this is happening. He did everything the labels told him to do. He followed every instruction. The confusion on his face tells the whole story. He thought normal meant healthy. He thought a number on a page meant his body was getting what it needed. But normal blood levels do not always mean normal function. And that is the trap that catches so many people over 55. The test shows B12 in your blood, but it does not show whether that B12 is actually getting inside your cells where the real work happens. It does not show whether your nerves are being fed. It does not show whether your brain is being protected. Your nerves are like wires in your body. They carry signals from your brain to your feet, your hands, your muscles, your organs. Every movement you make, every sensation you feel, every thought you think depends on those signals traveling smoothly and quickly. Vitamin B12 keeps those wires insulated and functioning. Without enough active B12 inside the nerve cells, the insulation starts to break down. Signals get weak. Messages get lost. You feel tingling. You feel numbness. You lose your balance. You forget things. And if it goes on too long, some of that damage becomes permanent. This is not just about feeling a little tired. This is about your independence. This is about being able to walk without fear of falling. This is about trusting your own mind when you speak. This is about living your life without being afraid of your own body. This is about maintaining the dignity and freedom you have worked your whole life to build. Now let me tell you about Margaret. She is 71 years old. For 2 years, she felt burning in her feet every single night. She told her doctor. He listened. He ordered a B12 test. It came back normal. He told her there was nothing wrong. He said it was probably just part of getting older. But the burning did not stop. The dizziness got worse. She started holding on to walls when she walked. She stopped going out with friends because she was afraid she would fall in public. Margaret kept going back. She kept asking for help. Every time the answer was the same. Your levels are fine. There's nothing to worry about. But Margaret knew something was wrong. She could feel it in her body. She could feel it in her bones. And she was right. The blood test was measuring B12 floating in her bloodstream, but it was not measuring whether that B12 was actually getting into her nerve cells and doing its job. It was not measuring function. It was only measuring presence. This is the hidden problem that nobody explains. Your body does not just need B12 in your blood. It needs B12 inside your cells. It needs it in the active form. It needs it consistently. And as you get older, your body becomes less and less able to pull B12 out of a regular pill and turn it into something your nerves can actually use. Here is why. When you are younger, your stomach makes something called intrinsic factor. This is a special protein that grabs onto vitamin B12 and helps your intestines absorb it. But as you age, your stomach produces less acid and less intrinsic factor. By the time you are in your 60s or 70s, your ability to absorb B12 from a swallowed tablet drops dramatically. Some studies show it can drop by more than half. You could be taking the same dose you always took, but your body is only using a fraction of it. The rest just passes through and goes to waste. That is the first big mistake most people make. They swallow a B12 tablet every morning and assume their body will take care of the rest. But if you do not have enough intrinsic factor, that tablet just passes through. It does not matter how high the dose is. It does not matter how expensive the brand is. It does not matter what the label promises. If your body cannot absorb it, you are wasting your time and your money. Let me take you back to that 68-year-old man I mentioned earlier. He was taking a regular B12 tablet every single day for 7 years. His doctor looked at his blood work and told him everything was fine, but the man knew better. He could barely make it through the afternoon without lying down. His hands felt weak. He dropped things without meaning to. His wife noticed he was getting confused more often. He would start a sentence and forget what he was trying to say halfway through. One simple change was made. The form of B12 was switched, not the dose, not the brand, not the timing, just the form. Within 3 weeks, he started feeling steadier on his feet. Within 6 weeks, his energy improved enough that he could work in his garden again. Within 3 months, the numbness in his feet began to fade. His blood test numbers barely changed, but his life changed completely. He could walk without fear. He could think without fog. He could live without constant exhaustion. That is the power of using the right form of vitamin B12. And that brings us to the second major mistake that almost everyone makes. Most store-bought B12 supplements contain something called cyanocobalamin. It sounds scientific. It sounds trustworthy. It sounds like something that must work because it has a long, complicated name. But it is actually the least effective form for older adults. Cyanocobalamin is cheap. It is stable. It sits on a shelf for years without breaking down. That is why manufacturers love it. It keeps their costs low. It has a long shelf life. It is easy to produce, but your body does not love it. Your body has to convert cyanocobalamin into an active form before it can be used. That conversion process requires enzymes, energy, and cellular machinery that slow down as you age. For someone over 55, cyanocobalamin is like handing your body a locked box and expecting it to find the key when the key is buried somewhere deep inside. There is a better option. It is called methylcobalamin. This is already in the active form. Your body does not have to convert it. Your cells can use it right away. For older adults, this makes all the difference in the world. It is the difference between struggling and thriving. It is the difference between hoping for results and actually seeing them. Let me tell you about Robert. He is 72. He had been taking cyanocobalamin for years. His blood levels looked acceptable on paper, but he could barely walk across his living room without feeling unsteady. His toes were numb. His calves ached. He thought this was just part of getting older. He thought there was nothing he could do. He thought he just had to accept it and adjust his life around it. Then he switched to methylcobalamin. 1 month later, his balance started improving. 3 months later, the numbness in his feet began to lessen. 6 months later, he was walking his dog again. He was gardening. He was going to the store without holding on to his wife's arm. He was living. And all because he changed the form of B12 he was taking. Nothing else changed. Same dose, same time of day, just a different form. Science backs this up. Study after study shows that methylcobalamin and another active form called adenosylcobalamin are better absorbed and better utilized in older adults. These are the forms your nerves actually recognize and use. These are the forms that make a real measurable difference in how you feel and how you function. But even when you choose the right form, there is still a third mistake that ruins everything. It is about consistency. Vitamin B12 is not a quick fix. It is not a boost you take when you feel tired. It is not something you use only when you remember. It is a repair nutrient. Your nerves need it every single day to heal and maintain themselves. Think of it this way. If you had a cut on your hand, you would not put a bandage on it one day and then take it off for 3 days and expect it to heal properly. Your nerves are the same. They need steady, consistent support. If you skip days, if you only take B12 when you remember, if you treat it like something optional, your body never gets the chance to truly recover. The healing process gets interrupted over and over again. Elaine is 70 years old. She kept a bottle of B12 on her kitchen counter, but she only took it when she felt exhausted. Some weeks, she would take it 3 times. Other weeks, not at all. She got brief bursts of energy, but her nerve symptoms never improved. The tingling in her fingers stayed. The dizziness stayed. The fog in her head stayed. She thought B12 just did not work for her. She thought her body was different. Once she started taking B12 every single day without skipping, everything changed. Her symptoms did not vanish overnight, but they stabilized. Then slowly, week by week, they started to improve. Her hands stopped tingling when she woke up. Her head felt clearer in the afternoons. Her balance came back when she walked down the hallway. All because she gave her body what it needed on a consistent schedule, without interruption. There is also the issue of timing. Some people take their B12 late at night, right before bed. That can be a mistake. B12 supports energy production at the cellular level. Taking it too late can interfere with sleep. Your body gets a signal to wake up and produce energy right when it should be winding down. The best time is in the morning or early afternoon when your body is naturally active and ready to use it. And then there is the issue of how you take it. Swallowing a tablet is convenient, but it is not always effective, especially if your stomach does not produce enough acid or intrinsic factor anymore. A much better option is sublingual B12. That means you let the tablet dissolve under your tongue. The B12 absorbs directly into your bloodstream through the thin tissue under your tongue. It bypasses your stomach completely. It does not need intrinsic factor. It does not need stomach acid. This method works beautifully for older adults who have trouble absorbing nutrients the traditional way. There are also other nutrients that support B12 function. Folate, also called vitamin B9, works closely with B12 in your body. They are partners in many of the same processes. Vitamin B6 helps with nerve health and energy. Magnesium supports energy production and helps your cells use B12 more effectively. If you are low in any of these, your B12 may not work as well as it should. They all work together like a team. Staying hydrated is also critical. Dehydration slows down every process in your body, including nutrient absorption and cellular function. If you're not drinking enough water, your cells cannot do their job properly no matter how much B12 you take. Water is the foundation that everything else builds on. Some medications interfere with B12 as well. Drugs for acid reflux, which millions of older adults take every day, reduce stomach acid. That means less B12 absorption. Diabetes medications like metformin can block B12 absorption in the intestines. Certain antibiotics can also interfere. If you take any of these regularly, you need to be even more careful about the form and delivery method of your B12 supplement. Now let me give you a clear picture of what actually works. If you are over 55, here is the protocol that makes a real difference. Use methylcobalamin or a combination of methylcobalamin and adenosylcobalamin. Take it sublingually, which means under the tongue. Use a dose between 1,000 and 2,000 micrograms every day. Take it in the morning or early afternoon. Do not skip days. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Make sure you are getting enough folate and B6, either from food or a good quality supplement. Get good sleep every night. Be consistent. Give your body time to heal. A 75-year-old woman followed this exact routine. Her lab numbers changed only slightly, but her life changed dramatically. She stopped falling. She stopped feeling dizzy when she stood up from a chair. She could walk to the mailbox without fear. She could remember names again. She could follow conversations without losing track. She felt like herself again. That is what real success looks like. It is not about a number on a test. It is about how you feel and how you function in your daily life. But I also need to be honest with you. Vitamin B12 is powerful, but it is not magic. If you have nerve damage from something else like diabetes, spinal compression, or long-term inflammation, B12 alone may not fix everything. If you have been deficient for many years and nerve damage has set in deeply, some of that damage may be permanent. B12 can stop it from getting worse and help with recovery, but it cannot reverse everything. That is why early action matters so much. A 73-year-old man increased his B12 dose on his own, hoping it would fix his leg weakness. It did not. Further testing revealed he had spinal stenosis, which was compressing his nerves physically. Once that was treated properly with physical therapy and medical care, B12 became a helpful support rather than a disappointing failure. This is why proper diagnosis matters. Symptoms like numbness, weakness, dizziness, and memory problems can come from many causes. You need to know what you are dealing with before you can treat it effectively. Let me close with one final story. A woman in her early 70s came in convinced that B12 simply did not work for her. She had tried it. She felt nothing. She gave up. She thought her body was just broken and there was nothing anyone could do. But when we looked closer, the whole picture became clear. She was using cyanocobalamin, the least effective form. She was swallowing tablets her stomach could not absorb well anymore. She was taking it inconsistently, only a few times a week, and she was judging success only by a blood test number that told her nothing about what was happening inside her cells. We changed just a few things. We switched to methylcobalamin. We switched to sublingual delivery. We made it a daily habit, every single morning without fail. 3 months later, she walked into the clinic with tears in her eyes. She said she felt steady again. She trusted her feet when she walked. She did not lose words in the middle of sentences anymore. She felt like herself. She felt human again. That is what this is really about. It is not about chasing perfect lab numbers. It is not about following a trend or doing what everyone else does. It is about getting your life back. It is about walking without fear. It is about thinking clearly. It is about trusting your own body again. It is about living with dignity and independence. If you are over 55, vitamin B12 is not optional. Your nerves need it. Your brain needs it. Your energy needs it. Your quality of life depends on it. But the way you take it matters more than most people realize. The form matters. The delivery method matters. The consistency matters. Everything matters when it comes to protecting your nervous system. The real question is not whether you are taking B12. The real question is whether your B12 routine is actually supporting your nerves and your brain. The real question is whether what you are doing is working. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel steady. You deserve to feel clear-minded. You deserve to feel like yourself. And with the right form, the right dose, the right delivery method, and the right consistency, that is exactly what vitamin B12 can give you. It is not too late. It is never too late to make the change that brings you back to life.